wait is over. The ghosts of the past have been put to rest. After 53 long years of heartbreak, hope, and perseverance, the Larry O'Brien is finally coming home to New York. For the first time since 1973, the New York Knicks are the champions of the basketball world. They have weathered the storm and defeated the relentless San Antonio Spurs and written their names in the eternal fabric of sports history. The final buzzer has sounded, the blue and orange confetti is falling, and the celebration of a lifetime is just getting started. And you are locked into the ETV network for the definitive instant reaction NBA Finals Championship postgame show. No filtered takes, no corporate scripts, just the raw, unfiltered basketball breakdown on the historic night that New York took back the crown.
All right. It's NBA Finals. The finals are over. The New York Knicks have won the NBA Finals for the first time since 1973. Boy, lots of emotions as we continue to watch what's going on at Frostbank Arena in San Antonio. A lot to react to. He's Johnny Montalbano. I'm Nick Morgasen. Before we get to all of it, make sure you follow us on social media at ETB Network. Follow our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ETB Network, and hit the notification bell. Everything we're doing right now, we'll get to all that later. But the NBA, the Knicks are your 2026 NBA champions with the final score being 94-90. There it is. They win the series 4-1. It's their first championship since 1973. Mr. Knick fan, you want to start?
I think before we say anything else, I can't believe I'm actually going to say this, but I'm actually excited to. They're right now on the TV that Ernie Johnson's interviewing Dolan, Leon Rose, and the Knicks right now, and I never thought I'd be so excited to see James Dolan talk, and there he was. I'm so happy right now. I don't even know where to start. All the hell that I've been through with this team over the in the 21st, for the most part of the 21st century, and it was all worth it.
It's a crazy time, right?
Point. I mean, there's going to be so much history that comes out of this championship. The best free agent signing in Knicks history. Some of the best moments in Knicks history in these NBA playoffs, whether it was the Anunoby tip-in, the block. How about maybe the most popular offensive rebound by Mitchell Robinson, who's one of the guys I'm very, very happy for as the longest tenured homegrown Knick on this team. What an amazing thing to see. I've seen now 2 Giants Super Bowl wins. I've seen multiple Yankees World Series wins. This, to me, though, takes the cake. The Knicks I root for more than any other team, and this is very, very special. 30 tomorrow in about 24 hours. I mean, obviously it'll be June 14th tomorrow in a few minutes, but 32 years since the last title won by a team that plays at Madison Square Garden. And here we are.
It's a crazy moment just because the Knicks, like you said, have been through a lot of hell to get to this point, whether it was going through drama with past stars. I can't count the amount of head coaches the Knicks have been through to get to this point. This is an interesting, and Shams just said that Brunson is the Finals MVP, which I could debate that one slightly. Part of that probably had to do with the performance today, because a lot of times when they pick the MVP, they look at the last game usually.
This was an all-time performance. I think they said it tied Michael Jordan for the most points scored on the road in a finals game. Let me see. Let me just rewind that real quick here since I got that TV option. But it took a performance like this to really, dethrone, if you could say, OG Anunoby from it, because OG to me was the favorite, but Jalen Brunson, who had a great fourth quarter, a huge fourth quarter in game one, a huge fourth quarter in game four, and then a huge game overall here in the deciding one.
Well,
so,
Nick D.
So tied for the most points in a series-clinching finals win on the road with Michael Jordan.
Nick G just sent a message in. He just said he's blocks away from the Garden right now.
Oh wow! I wonder what it's like over there. I haven't seen anything.
I'm afraid to know, because if you know what happened earlier today, Team Brazil, because they played in New York, they took over the city, and it was massive craziness earlier in the city where they had to block off a bunch of stuff. Can you imagine having to fight soccer fans in New York right now, what that's going to be like?
I'm hoping that, since they had their game from about 6 to 8 o'clock, they were able to at least get out of Times Square in a few hours in an orderly fashion, and time for us to celebrate now.
But you know how crazy soccer fans are. But
in Brazil, no doubt about it. And there's James Dolan with a huge smile. I never thought I'd be so happy to hear him talk right at the start.
I don't know if I can ever be happy for James Dolan. I get it. The team definitely deserved to win. We're gonna spend plenty of time tonight. Don't you worry. I'm
not gonna do much sleep tonight. Tomorrow was already going to be an emotional day. Now it's going to be a mixed emotional day for sure. Tomorrow will be 8 years, actually 9 years to the day that my dad passed. And my dad was a huge Rangers fan. He was a big Knicks fan too. So this one's for him too. So it's been, man, just an incredible thing. And there's Radio City. These reactions coming in right now are just unbelievable. What an unbelievable, and this whole series, what an incredible, resilient series for this team that trailed double digits in the first quarter in every game, including tonight, when they only scored 13 points in the first quarter, and yet they still come back and find a way.
I mean, good for the Knicks. Okay. I'm sure people were not expecting me to say that, but they came back. They won the game. It's however the score is on paper. But again, the Spurs held leads of double-digit varieties in the first quarter and in the fourth quarter again. And I wouldn't say today's performance was as bad because they fought all the way to the end, but they made some really bad fundamental mistakes, which you and I were discussing as we were watching the end of the game. You said young team. This is a young team. It is the youngest team in the NBA. Were they ahead of schedule? Sure. They were ahead of schedule. They probably were not supposed to make the NBA Finals as quick as they did. But some mistakes definitely cost them. And Jalen Brunson at the end of the fourth quarter, the last 2 or 3 minutes or so, you couldn't stop him. And that killed you. That burned you down the stretch.
That's the difference. You know what? Wemby looked human down the stretch in some of these games, and Brunson turned it on at the end of these games. But let me just also say congratulations to the Spurs, because, again, this is a very, very young team with a good group of young guys. I mean, I should say some great group of young guys. They'll be contenders for a while. Their window, I think, is pretty long. This Knicks window, I don't think is as long as it is. That's why we have to really take this all in and enjoy it, because you never know, especially in this Eastern Conference. I mean, we've seen it. There are teams that got short will come back the next year. Look, there's no guarantee of that in any sport. And even with the Spurs, there's no guarantee they make it back to this promised land next year, but they've got a young team that I think maybe they could use a veteran or so to help with that youth. But, I mean, congratulations to Mitch Johnson and that team. They're in for, I think, a good role coming up here. We got some comments already.
Yeah, congratulations to the Knicks.
Thank you, Christy.
You already said this. You're going to go out and get the...
It is, Christy, it's one of the first things I'm going to do when I get off of work tomorrow. I will definitely do that because I'll be honest with you, as much as I would love to do it, I cannot get to New York for the parade.
First of all, do you want to be in that impending nightmare?
I think it's going to be bigger and more attended than any of the Yankee World Series championships from the 90s to 2000s. I think it's going to be greater than the 2 Giants Super Bowl wins that there were most recently. So I think it's going to be epic. It'd be awesome to be there. The championship year, though, I will get it and wear it on a future show. Yes. There's no question about that. That's when I get off of work tomorrow, it's one of the first things I'm going to do. So I will work on that for sure.
More stuff coming in. Good luck to anyone trying to navigate New York City with the Knicks winning and the World Cup, which I just said. But...
Yeah, and you know what, though? It's great look, as long as nothing terrible happens in the city, this is probably what New York City needs in the biggest of ways, economy-wise and just publicity-wise. So it's a win-win all the way around. I mean, when you have one of the most popular, maybe the most popular World Cup country in Brazil, and obviously the Knicks, who are beloved in this city, even with all the turmoil, then yes. Thank you, Ben. Ben, now it's your turn. Now you got it. Now you got to take over. Nick, even you too. Now it's time for you guys to get a championship in your respective sports. So, look, maybe this is the start of things here on the ETB network because Tom made a very, very good point in our group chat.
He made one here also. We'll get to it in a second.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
This is the first championship by a New York team since the network started.
Yeah.
What else do we have here? We got a lot of comments. Thank you, everybody, for all the comments and for tuning in so far.
Yeah, Spurs will be back for sure. They'll be winning a couple championships for sure in a couple years. I feel like the coaching was awful in this series for the Spurs. Now, I know Mitch Johnson is young. He's 39 years old. Mm-hmm. But you heard me say this over the past couple times we've done the streams. This is the NBA Finals. There's no mistakes in the NBA Finals. Yeah. I understand they're young. Yeah. I get it. But
he had a bunch of them in Game 4, Nick.
Yeah, the fundamentals were bad. I have to say De'Aaron Fox actually wasn't as bad this game as he was last game. I mean, his shooting numbers were bad, but I felt like he managed to kind of pull back a little bit and try to, control the offense. But just looking at some of the numbers, Wemby, bad shooting night again. But I feel like he's the only one that's fighting for offense out there. 19 points, 7 of 19 shooting, 1 of 6 from 3. Way too many threes from Wemby again.
Yep.
Just looking at some of the numbers, I thought he had 5 blocks, by the way. People take that for granted, by the way. This guy is an amazing defensive player. And I was typing in our chat away. I said, people were saying, like, what's happening here? I said, you're going to send your small players up against Wemby? You're going to get blocked every time you do that. But I think everyone else forgot to play together as a team. And the one I'm going to actually blame this game on is Stephon Castle. Stephon Castle went 1 of 10 from the field. He's been off this whole series. Yeah. Taking really bad shots, forcing shots, not running the offense. It was De'Aaron Fox yesterday. I thought it was Stephon Castle today.
2 things, Nick, when the series started that I felt the Knicks had an advantage in, and that was depth and coaching. And I think we saw both of those play a big role in this series. When Jalen Brunson was having off moments in these games, which he had a few of them, the rest of the team had stepped up. Other players had stepped up in his struggles. And Mike Brown has been here before and had experience. And Mitch Johnson's 39 years old, There's some players in the league that are older than him still playing. And Mitch Johnson, I get it, 60-win team got them to the finals, but he didn't have a good finals. That game 4 will haunt the Spurs this whole off season, because why the Spurs are shooting 17 3-pointers in the second half when they're up by 29 points. And not only that, I went back and looked at it even more. Of those 17 3-pointers, 12 of them were shot with more than 10 seconds left on the shot clock.
He was forcing shots. Yeah.
Why are your starters why is Victor Wembanyama playing almost that entire game?
Because he had no choice.
But you were up so much in game 4. That's where you give him a little bit of a breather. And then if the Knicks do rally, then that's when you put him back in. It's not like baseball where you sub out all your players, they can't come back in. It's like, or football where you could do that. You can sub him out and then he can come back in if you see the Knicks getting a rally and you need to make some defensive stops.
I mean, the one thing I will say is I think the Spurs did a better job of ratio between Kornet and Wembanyama in this game, because he basically sat out, the last 4 minutes almost, or no, the last 3 minutes of the half, because they were up. And I said, the Spurs are finally learning from the mistake.
Yeah.
They're going to sit him so he doesn't get destroyed.
Oh, look at this.
Nick.
All right, I'm just warning you right now. I can't hear a word you guys are saying. I don't recommend you guys do what I just did, which is I was caught in a mob full of people. It was not a good way to spend the championship. I thought it would be amazing. It was pretty awful, actually. Being near the Garden.
We're going to find a good mob.
I'm looking to find a bar to go to so I can celebrate.
There's only a few around there.
That was an environment I've never experienced before. It was surreal. It was just surreal. And that's all I can really say, because I can't really hear you guys because it's so loud. Look at it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's only part of it.
Didn't like it. And you should have seen it before. We were stuck in this whole mob for at least 20, 30 minutes. Could barely move. People on top of traffic lights, doing pull-ups. It was something I just never seen anything like it.
Well,
wow.
I know you can't hear us, Nick, but from one Knick fan to another, to my co-host, congratulations, and stay safe tonight, okay? Please do stay safe, but enjoy. Please stay safe.
Yes. See ya.
Enjoying it. I'm going to go to a bar. I'll see you guys.
Okay. And he'll probably be getting out of the bar and getting home just as I'm getting ready for work in just a few hours from now. But go ahead and celebrate, my friend.
That was madness just a second ago.
Yeah, I mean, and that's only part of it. So
wow.
So they're just showing Jalen Brunson's numbers real quick, and then we'll get some more of your comments. So Jalen Brunson, 30 points in game 1 on 12 of 31 shooting. Game 2, 20.7 of 25. Game 3, 32 on 11 of 25. And then he picked it up. Game 4, 36 on 12 of 25. And then tonight, 45 points, 14 of 27. So he got better as the series had moved along in terms of the shooting percentages and stuff. But he was clutch in game 1 in the fourth quarter. He was clutch in game 4. And a huge tonight. I mean, this is a historic performance by him tonight. I mean, one that'll go down in the Knicks history books for sure. But I think that's why I was going back in the beginning here and mentioning real quick before Nick D jumped on. We've the Knicks' depth and the coaching, I think, was a big reason why I thought they had a good chance in this series, and both of them showed in this series. I mean, the Knicks had contributions from everybody. When some guys were struggling, other guys had stepped up. And just an incredible performance from everybody. I mean, this team was 10 deep, which was the one thing that we really didn't have the last couple of years under Tom Thibodeau, who got us to this point. We got to give him a little bit of credit too, but he did not play this deep of a bench or deep of a roster, and Mike Brown did, and I think it helped in a bunch of ways.
I don't know if this is exactly correct what I'm about to say. Would you say the Spurs roster reminded you a little bit of a Tom Thibodeau system? A little?
A little bit.
I'm talking about from the standpoint of not playing as many players at times.
I think partially that's true, and I think it's also like with the Tom Thibodeau. The other thing too with Thibodeau is he didn't really have that many those guys too. I think that may be one thing the Spurs will address is maybe getting some more depth on this team to maybe give some of their starters a little bit more of a breather too. That could be also in the works.
The other thing that I think I will never understand, why was Dylan Harper not starting?
I know I looked at that at the start tonight. I was like, I thought of you actually when I saw that he wasn't starting Game 5, especially it was. I know we talked about it at the Game 4. It was the one move that maybe they could have made.
I think they would have won the game tonight if he started.
Although De'Aaron Fox, though, wasn't, like you said, he wasn't as bad tonight as he was.
I mean, his shooting numbers were horrible, but he was 3 of 15, 1 of 8 from 3. I mean, the numbers should have told you after Game 2, to be honest, that Harper should have been started. Look at his numbers. 25 points off the bench. I think he beat the whole Knicks bench by himself.
Well, that's the thing too tonight. And I put this out on Twitter was the Knicks only had 4 bench points through 3 quarters, and I felt like it just was not going to cut it. And it got better in the 4th, but I mean, even Mitchell Robinson again, that offensive rebound that he had at the end was huge. I mean, that will be probably the most popular, most famous offensive rebound in this team's history. So.
And by the way, I just don't want another thing because people are going to bring it up too. I don't want to hear anything about officiating tonight.
No, listen, we're not going to talk about officiating tonight, honestly, because it doesn't mean anything anymore. The officiating does not mean a damn thing. The only thing I could say, if you want me to, is it's one thing to be missing calls. It's another thing when some of them happen to somebody when they're 7-4, and it's happening multiple times. But look, I mean, the officiating no longer needs to be discussed because the series is over and the Knicks won the series. So that doesn't need to be discussed anymore.
What I will say is it did get very chippy again. For the first half, they were letting things go. And I mean go. Like there were guys flying all over the court that the fouls were not being called. Now, what's amazing to me is Cat got in foul trouble from the start, from the jump. And the Spurs still lost the game. OG got in foul trouble in the 3rd quarter. They lost the game. That's where my mind is kind of blown a little bit, where you had what did they have, a 12-point lead, I think, or no, they had a 6 or 7-point lead going into the half. And I said, this is not good. They let the Knicks go into the locker room with momentum where they're going to come back out.
Nick, I thought the way the first half was, I thought it was incredible how the Spurs were not up by 30 in the first half, the way this game started tonight. But the Spurs just couldn't. Their shooting was so bad that was one of the reasons that kept the Knicks in the game. I mean, the Knicks only scored 13 points in the first quarter. The Spurs had jumped out their first quarters. They were so tremendous. I think they ended up like a plus 57 in the first quarter. Yeah. Think about this. All 5 games in this series, the Spurs had a double-digit lead in the first quarter, a plus 57, and they won one of them.
And that's why I'm partially saying the Spurs choked the last 2 games away, because they had, I don't know what the lead was going into the 4th quarter. It was, what was it, like 7 or 8 going into the 4th quarter? Still was not a comfortable lead. Let me be very clear about that. But I said, all right, 7-8 point lead going into the 4th quarter. They need to breathe. That's the problem they were having going into the 4th quarter in every single game. And as soon as they had that early turnover in the 4th quarter, I said, all right, they're panicking. Like, they are legitimately panicking as a young group. They don't know how to handle the 4th quarter. And it was just very interesting to me that they got to work on clutch situational shooting and how to control the tempo of a game. And that comes with time. Most of that roster is 25 or younger. All right, into the comments a little bit. Tom here.
Here's Tom.
Trying to concentrate with the last matchup. He's working the MVP card right now.
That's right. And tomorrow night is UFC is the Freedom going tomorrow night, right?
And we'll promote some of the stuff we're doing tomorrow later. But trying to concentrate with the last matchup for work is really hard right now.
Oh, for sure.
And then this is the one you and I were talking about. I never thought I'd see the day when we first started the network.
Yeah. Tom, I don't think when I joined that the Knicks would be the first team to win a championship. I would have put my money on the Yankees. Really?
Well, my Nets came close if it wasn't for a Kevin Durant toe.
That's right, because that's when you started. Yeah, that's true. But I would have said the Yankees, and I still think the Yankees might get back in there this year. We'll see.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's a jinx.
I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to bring that up on Thursday, and then my internet decided not to have me on. So I couldn't.
Your internet played better defense than the Spurs did.
Yeah. Well, I think Dolan blocked me because I was criticizing him. So
that too.
Combination of that.
Let's see
what else do we got?
Jen said, "Let's go."
Oh, that's right, Jen. Yes, absolutely.
Boston needs another one. We need one.
Well, we'll see, Ben. I mean, look, you still have the Celtics, and the Patriots will still be competitive this year.
Actually, he's asking about odds. I can see if
I'm
they have
sure.
that.
I was gonna say give it about an hour.
I'm gonna check. I have my DraftKings app.
Let's say the Knicks. I'll tell you this. I'm gonna say the Knicks are not favored next year. Right.
I agree with you. All right. Let's see.
I would even say they're the second favorites next year.
Oh, did they already remove the NBA section already? Here we go. 26-27 season.
That's it. Yep.
Let's see where the Knicks are. They are not the favorite.
I wouldn't, and I'll bet you they're not the second favorite.
They're not.
They're not. No.
Where do you
five?
think? Yes.
Okay.
So the Spurs are number one.
I could see why.
I don't agree with that. You can't be a loser and be number one and the favorite for next year.
I think the youth, but also think about this though, that it's something like the betting public though, because the Spurs were 5.5 point favorites going into the game tonight.
So right now the Spurs are a plus 250 favorite going into next year. Actually, the Spurs and the Thunder are tied at plus 250 at the time.
Oh yeah, I'd still take the Thunder seriously. Yeah.
And that goes back to a comment I made when they were playing. I said that was the de facto NBA Finals series. There was no way you were going to beat the competitiveness in that series. And I think for the most part, I was right because the finals kind of unfortunately turned out to be a dud.
The Knicks are not third either, right?
So the Celtics are third.
I was going to say the Celtics, and then maybe if I want to put one more team above the Knicks, are not fourth, right?
No, they are.
Oh, they are fourth. Okay. Are the Pistons right below them?
No.
Okay.
Actually, they're quite a bit back.
Interesting. Okay. So I'm trying to think who else would it be? Lakers?
I'll give you the top 10. So Spurs and Thunder are 1. Celtics are, I don't know if you want to technically call them 3 because there's 2 teams tied for 1.
Yeah, I'd say they're third. Yeah.
All right. So Celtics are third at plus 550. Knicks are fourth at plus 700. Then the numbers nosedive.
Yeah.
At fifth is the Pacers at plus 2,800.
Wow. I think they're expecting Halliburton to come back and that team to be a fully healthy team next year.
I mean, he made the difference for them when they played the Knicks. And then you have the Nuggets at 6. Actually, the Pacers and the Knicks are tied for plus 2,800. The T-Wolves are plus 3,000, which I think is kind of not fair, to be honest. If that number stays there, that would be great value if someone were to take them as a champion. The Lakers the Timberwolves and the Lakers are both plus 3,000. T-Wolves, Lakers, Pistons, and Cavs are all plus 3,000. You want to know why the Lakers and the Cavs are that high? Because they're anticipating LeBron's return somewhere.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I'll be honest with you. Who cares? We got our championship tonight. That's all that really matters. I don't care about next year.
Oh, no, I know. He asked, so I just looked it up.
Well, of course. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I just changed the channel over to ESPN. Scott Van Pelt's on right now. I'm sure
I should do that too.
Somebody will. Actually, no, Scott Van Pelt's not on. It's who's on with? I mean, obviously there's Stephen A. But who's?
It says SVP is supposed to be on now.
Oh, he might become. Maybe he's still getting set up. Oh, that's Madeline Burke and David Lloyd who's on right now.
They probably didn't transition yet because SVP, he probably comes on right after the game.
Yeah, I mean, it says 12-1. Maybe he's still trying to get set up. I don't know. I don't think he went to San Antonio for the.
Well, the game finished late. Remember, so it finished past 11 o'clock. So
do you think he went down to San Antonio for the game? Okay, I didn't think so.
But he's been on after every NBA final and every Stanley Cup game.
Yeah.
So, but this is interesting. Maybe because
I'll keep it on right now.
I have it
Madeline
on
Burke,
too.
by the way, local New York products. So I'm happy to see her that she's on Sports Center now, and then David Lloyd's the veteran.
God,
But
what did I say to you was going to happen since Stephen A is on our screens right now? What did I say is going to happen tomorrow on First Take? It's going to be insufferable.
You mean Monday?
I mean, sorry. Thank God it's Monday.
Well, I will tell you though, if you want to talk about a media thing real quick, I know FAN's changing their whole lineup tomorrow because I was listening to Beningo this morning, and he's going to be on from 1 to 4, and I think Evan Roberts just posted that he's going to be on at 9 tomorrow. So FAN obviously is doing a whole Knicks celebration.
Yeah, but he's not even a Knicks fan.
I'm sure. Well, I don't know if it's just him or Evan and Tiki. In fact, let's just see if FAN put that out. But anyway,
let's see what else do we have in the
more.
comments.
Let's get some more comments here. And if you have a comment, please do drop them on our YouTube channel. Jen's saying, I'm taking a day off of work. I'm going to the parade. Sorry, work. I'll watch the parade.
Yeah, be careful.
I can't get up there. I'd love to, but
Jen, just be careful.
Yeah,
I have to say.
Please be careful, but enjoy it. Yes. Look, if I could, I would. The gear, no question about it. I'll wear it on a future show.
Castle boy was dog shit. I mean, he was 1 of 10. 1 of 10. I'll read the number again in case people were curious. So Castle was 1 of 10 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3. Yeah, well, it was not a good night.
Yeah. So, yeah, FAN, by the way, all day coverage of the Knicks championship on Sunday, starting at midnight and going all the way until midnight. So 12 to 12. So Lugauer is on now. Gordon Damer is on from 3 to 7. Wow. So FAN is streaming, is getting rid of their whole Sunday lineup for this. C-Mac 7 to 9, Evan and Tiki 9 to 10, Malusis 10 to 1, Joe Beningo 1 to 4, Anthony Gallo 4 to 8, and Laurie Rubinson from 8 to midnight. And so wow. So I don't remember FAN doing this. I mean, obviously, when the Giants won the 2 Super Bowls, that was a Sunday, so that would have been a normal Monday. They didn't do this for any of the Yankee ones, but
some more stuff coming in.
Yeah, more stuff coming in.
This one makes me laugh because Callan brings this up all the time. No one can mock the Callan McClurg Memorial NBA Cup in-season tournament. The Knicks won both the NBA Cup and the Larry O'Brien in the same season, and also beat SAS in the NBA
Spurs
Cup
in the
final.
NBA Cup final too. Yeah, Callan, we'll work maybe on the bet when they do the banner, Sarah, when they raise the banner on opening night next year. Maybe they'll have that little thing on the bottom. Maybe they'll put something on the little bottom left-hand corner of the banner saying, "Oh, NBA Cup 2." Remember that?
Yes, and of course, Callan was referring to Nick D before. Tarps off, tarps off, tarps off.
Yes.
More stuff, as he was saying to Nick.
Nick D, yeah.
Hey, Johnny, we got 2 JBs with finals for the...
Yes, absolutely.
What else we got? More from Tom. Knicks beat Scott Foster at his own game. All right. I'm gonna say this again, okay? Was the officiating bad? Yes. On both sides, it was bad. I thought it was actually very loose, a term you use a lot, on the forecast side of things. I thought the officiating was very loose in the first half. I thought they were letting people get away with murder. They did miss a call on Wemby on the what's it called? The shooting space. Well, not the shooting space. What do they call it? Landing space.
The landing space, yeah.
That was a clear miss. They missed that one big time.
Well, yeah, and look, it's one thing to miss. Look, missed calls are going to happen. It's one thing when you miss a call, but it's another thing when you miss a call on a guy who's 7'4", and multiple times too.
Yeah, and the same thing if you really want to play the trade-off game. I think Wemby got hacked a ton of times during this game.
I agree. I think there were missed fouls on both sides in this game and overall.
So, to be honest, I would just put it to a wash at this point because I think both sides were hacked many times, and they didn't call me.
I'm just glad we don't have to talk about it now because we did win.
Tom, welcome to the club. I'm going to guess OKC. Yeah.
Oh, in terms of the favorite, yeah.
Let's see what else.
They're going to still be a threat.
Stanley Cup deserves 7 games. Hopefully Vegas ties it. All right, we'll get to hockey.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
That's next. That happens later on tonight. now we
And
can
of
say
and
it.
of course,
There's the
'cause-
Empire State Building.
And of course, because Tom has to say it, SpongeBob voice, he was number one. Yes.
That's great.
Oh,
What's Ben say here?
parade is Thursday.
Oh, well, that's awesome. I'm off. I could go to it. I'm off Thursday.
Just be careful if you're gonna go.
No, Nick, I'll be honest with you. First off, I'm going to do the show Thursday. I'm going to do MCTP, and I have a lot of stuff I've got to get done. So I as much as I'd love to go, I really can't. I'll watch it on the TV when I have my gear, and I got to get some stuff done at home. So I mean, look, I love my main job, but I mean, sometimes it's a little bit time consuming. I got something I do on the side that is also happens at night, so I don't have a lot of time to get a lot of this stuff done. So that's personal, but that's why I can't go Thursday.
According to Chris Haynes, the Knicks are flying back to New York tonight. So
there's no way, and I'm assuming they're going to fly into
probably either JFK probably. So they're going to fly into private wherever they go, but.
I'm just trying to think like they wouldn't have a situation like that people would hang out and celebrate. I'm sure if people could track their flight on like I use Flight Radar, they could track them on that.
Oh yeah.
And see their flight come in from San Antonio, but yeah. But
let's see what else.
Great Thursday. That's going to be awesome. Let's hope the weather's going to be good there on Thursday.
Callan said, sidebar, there's a great write-up on USD Athletics website about Mike Brown's career from playing there to his NBA coaching tenure. Highly recommend. Wasn't written by me, though. And, of course, loose. Yes.
Even though this game was tight tonight.
Well, I would say the first half was fairly loose with the officiating.
Well, I would say tight in terms of the scoring and the defense. I mean, look at 94-90. This felt like 90s basketball tonight.
Oh God. And Tom is calling me right now. Hold on. Let's
get him on. Old school style.
Tom, we're live right now.
I know. I needed to get my voice on here. Just oh my God. I cannot believe this day is here.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Johnny.
Tom, can you hear me?
Johnny?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm wearing headphones. That's why he's not able to hear you.
Tell him I said congratulations from one Knicks fan to another.
Oh, he said that Johnny said congratulations from one Knicks fan to another.
Well, from one Knicks fan to another, it is about time, man.
Oh yes.
I cannot believe. I meant what I said on Twitter. When I was little, I was first getting into basketball. It was right after Patrick Ewing had left the Knicks, and that was when everything started to go to the crapper. And to see all that we've gone through from the days of freaking Eddie Curry and then going into the Carmelo Anthony days, the Linsanity, the fall after that. And then when we started the first podcast, Nick, who was it that was our president of basketball operations at that point?
What's his name? The guy from the Pacers.
Was it Donnie Walsh?
Yeah, it was Donnie Walsh.
And the way that ended.
The guy who made every mistake in the book putting that roster together.
Mm-hmm. The Scott Perry days. Phil Jackson,
Scott Perry. Oh, my God.
president.
Yeah, I mean,
operations.
You know what, though? I mean, was this the greatest series of all time? No. Did they win the series? Yes.
That's all that matters to me right now. The drought's over.
The
curse is over.
I didn't realize, by the way, that the Knicks were the first New York win that we've seen since we started this network.
We had seen teams make the Eastern Conference final, like the Rangers and the Nets. We've seen the Yankees make the ALCS and the World Series. We saw the Giants make it to the second round of the playoffs, but we never saw anybody compete. We never saw anybody actually win a championship until now.
Ben was close with the Patriots. I mean, earlier this year.
Oh, yeah. Johnny said Ben was close with the Patriots.
In general.
Yeah, but I'm talking about New York teams. I'm talking
New
about
York
City teams, I should say.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But
that's what I was talking about. But yeah, just wanted to get on here and just say, chime in like Nick D and all the others saying, how freaking happy that we all are. It's unreal, man. And now that work's over, I'm just gonna celebrate here.
I guess Nick D forgot the memo about his shirt.
It was funny. I thought it like he almost got it ripped off or something.
I'm probably wearing the Knicks jersey on the post show tomorrow. Honestly,
That's fine.
I don't know. I'm just saying I should be wearing a UFC shirt at that point, but I can't.
How can? Yeah, you got to wear the. Well, you were wearing the Knicks jersey during the UFC Freedom show.
I'll be wearing this jersey forever at this point. At this rate.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Brunson named MVP. I guess not a surprise. 45 points tonight. I mean,
no.
Even though I think OG, had a better series, to be honest.
I think it was either going to be Jalen or OG. I think what could have led me to OG was the tip-in. That tip-in is going to go down as one of the greatest moments in New York sports history.
That's for sure.
Tom, I know you can't hear me, but that'll be like on a 60-foot poster.
Yeah, just wanted to chime in here.
Well, wait 1 second. Johnny, what were you saying? And I'll ask him.
Yeah. Tom, OG's got like 3 moments in the playoffs that you could put banners up for around MSG. I think there's a couple of things from the playoffs. The 3 moments from OG, including obviously that tip in, and I think the Mitchell Robinson block on Embiid in the Sixers series is also a moment that's got to go down. And I mean, how about Mitchell Robinson? That block and then the best offensive rebound in this franchise's history tonight.
So he's saying that OG had some pretty big moments. Well, in this series, in the playoffs, the block. What do you make of? You could put up statues for OG. Basically, is what he's saying.
Oh, clearly, yeah.
Yeah, I would not have been mad if they had given it to OG. I feel like Jalen and OG are the two. And Jalen wasn't playing healthy. I've got a feeling Jalen's going to be getting a lot of rest and a lot of treatments in the coming days.
Well, I guess you could say he finally got the job done. Now, what I will say, and as 2 Knicks fans sitting next to me, can we stop with the all-time stuff? He's got to go out and win another title.
Oh, yeah. I will address that.
The problem is it's hard.
Let Tom go first.
Yeah.
And it's been 50-plus years since the last one.
But you would agree that he's not the all-time greatest Knick right now, right?
No, I would not say I would say he's one. He's definitely earned his status now as one of the greats. But obviously, if he managed to do it a second time, then you're talking about all-time great. I mean, you're talking about the number 1 all-time great at that point. But the fact is, this team is going to have legendary status now. This is to the Knicks what the '94 Rangers are to the Rangers.
So what do you think about, like, Melo, for instance? Like, when he came in, the whole insanity thing, all that stuff. When you look back at that stuff and you look at now, what do you think about this team?
This team?
What do you think about this team and how hard it was to get to this point, going through all those moments? Because you remember when Melo came in, that was supposed to be the big, the big star.
And then everything just was a constant backfire.
And
this team has made the suffering worth it. Like, at this point now, they have their title, and that cannot be taken away.
How do you think Thibodeau feels right now?
That's the one person my heart breaks for.
Now, I'm not saying he would have won with this team. That's a fallacy of a predetermined outcome.
No,
but
he served. It's like what I've talked about, Nick, in the past with, like, Stick Michael and Buck Showalter. Yeah, yep. Joe Torre and Brian Cashman get the credit for the late 90s, early 2000s Yankees. But if it wasn't for Stick Michael and Buck Showalter setting the base, you wouldn't have that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Before you go, though, you just want to say quickly what you're doing, well, now later today?
Yeah. Zan's doing Zanzinger Part 2. He'll have his own UFC Freedom 250 preview, in addition to obviously now talking about the Knicks NBA championship. We will be covering for our own prospective outlets the UFC Freedom 250 card. when that card ends, and I have no idea when that's going to be, not just because there are 7 fights, but because Mother Nature is absolutely unpredictable and could cause absolute ruckus on our plans. We will figure that out when the post show is going to happen, because this card better not get late into the night, considering finals week starts at my work, and I cannot take off. I cannot take off tomorrow.
Oh, you mean you can't stay up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning? Shucks.
Shucks. It just so happens, Nick, that the Johnny would know this too, the native New Yorkers, that the regions for my subject area is being graded on Monday.
Yes.
Oh.
So there's no way I'm getting out of that.
No, you can't get out of that. Yeah.
Well, enjoy it like Johnny's enjoying it now, and we'll talk. I'll talk to you at some point when we're done here.
All right, sounds good.
All right, see you.
Take care, guys.
All right, Tom. Wow, I think a lot of what he said is absolutely right. Yeah, there were some people that were talking about putting Jalen Brunson like as the best Knick of all time. I think that's a little bit much. I mean, you want to put him on the Mount Rushmore. I mean, maybe he now he's number 4 because he's got that championship. I mean, I think the longevity though needs to be a characteristic too of this. I mean, he has been with the team for 4 years, but what he's been able to do in these 4 years has been. I mean, it is going to be the best free agent signing in this franchise's history. I mean, that you can't even. There's no debate about that. I mean, the whole tenor and culture and feeling of this team changed when they got him and what he's been able to do since they got him.
I mean, I will say the Mavericks screwed up big time not signing him back. At the time, I did think the Knicks overpaid at the time, because we had no idea what Jalen Brunson was going to be.
I don't think anybody in their wildest dreams thought he was going to be this good.
Like, I knew he was a decent player. I used to watch him a bunch with the Mavs. He was like a role player guy on the Mavs. Like, he wasn't a Steph Curry or a LeBron or somebody. He wasn't that type of player. Now, do I think he is still like all the way at the top as like a star? To me, no. And Nick D got mad at me for this when we did a show together. I don't have him as a top 10 player in the NBA. I can name 10 players that are probably better than.
No, that's fair, but I mean, what he is to this organization is.
Oh, that's not debatable.
Yeah,
he has done everything that the team is expected of him.
Yeah, and he's in a perfect system too. Like, he doesn't need to be a top 10 player in the NBA to be a successful player for the Knicks and in the league. Because there are players that are above him but are not in better systems. Like, Wembanyama is clearly the best player right now, but I think it's clear that he needs some help on that team, on his team.
Yeah, I mean,
the Knicks, and this was the thing I said also about the series too. The Knicks could afford an off night from Brunson. I think they had a better chance going into the series of having an off game from Brunson and winning than if Wembanyama had a poor shooting. And what I mean by off game is a bad shooting night, versus if Wembanyama had a bad shooting night. And I think that was clearly dictated in this series. I mean, again, Brunson for the first 3 quarters in game 1, his numbers were awful. His numbers didn't look great, 12 of 31 shooting, but that fourth quarter in game 1 was massive for him.
Yeah, I mean, the shooting numbers were atrocious for like the first 2 games or 3 games, if you really want to take it that far.
Yeah, and they got better as the series went along, and I think he got a little bit more confident. And I'll be very curious in the coming days that we do find out if Brunson does say what exactly his situation with his injuries were, and hopefully not anything that requires any surgery or anything.
Right. Now, the bench was a factor this whole series. I think that's why they stayed in this series. Spurs bench, on the other hand, not great. At least I feel like they could have been better. But I don't know. I mean, overall, when you look at this series, when you go back and you look at it, how would you rate this series overall? I think the 4-1 obviously doesn't tell you much, but
In terms of like, what would I put it in?
Like, just like from either an entertainment value or watching it.
I don't think it's going to go down as a top 10 series of all time. I wouldn't put it up there. I think some of Jordan's Bulls series were more entertaining than this one, but I think at the same time, though, when you look at the fact that the Knicks overcame 5 games where they were trailing by double digits and won 4 of those 5, and actually had I'm trying to remember, did they lead even in the fifth in the one they lost? I don't think so. But the fact that they had 5 double-digit deficits in the first quarter in all 5, they had double-digit deficits in all 5 games in the first quarter, and they rallied every single time. I mean, that's historic right there. So there is going to be a little bit of a historic factor in this when the series is all said and done. I'm going to be very curious when the ratings come out for this game, if it hit over 30 million, because I felt like one of these games would, and I think the blowout from Game 4, at least for the most part, is what prevented Game 4 from being a 30 million rating.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people tuned in, or were tuning away from the series just because there was so much back and forth. Like the Spurs would take the lead, the Knicks would come back, then they would take a large lead, and then the Spurs would come back. Like, there was no consistency in the series.
They did say though that this was the best of the highest rated series so far since Jordan's last one in '98 against the Jazz, and this one should be almost an all-time game. Like this number that came out, that's going to come out for Game 5, it should be an all-timer, because this series as a whole, going into it, you had the Knicks, very, very well-known franchise with their history of what they've had to go through, against against maybe the most popular player, one of the most popular, if not the most popular player in the NBA right now, who's an international guy in Victor Wembanyama. So that in itself right there should have led to the numbers being tremendous. And for anybody who wants to say that basketball's on a decline, I mean,
I think basketball's at an all-time high, to be honest.
I think they're greatly mistaken. I mean, there were some people that when the World Baseball Classic was going on were trying to tell me that Major League Baseball was above the basketball, and I was like,
there's not even a
chance.
No way. First of all, the NBA has more international reach than Major League Baseball does.
And you want to tell me that because of an exhibition tournament that's played every 4 years? I mean, I'm sorry, that's not a good enough reason to tell me that baseball's is more popular or better than the NBA.
First of all, if the NBA held a World Cup style tournament, it would trounce Major League Baseball's dopey tournament that they run every 4 years, because one, the stars are bigger. I also think in the NBA, more guys like to compete for their country also.
Yeah. And also more and better promoted too.
Now, I just saw a video. I don't know if you know the account Breaking 911. I'm sure you've heard that account.
Yeah, I've seen it before.
They put out a video of Knicks fans climbing on top of cars. Okay,
so now we're becoming a little bit like Philadelphia right now.
A little bit, yeah.
And that's all. And again, that's only the start of it. I mean, it's 12:35 a.m. Eastern right now here on Sunday morning. I'm sure there's going to be more of that coming out. Like, I actually, you know what I'm going to probably do while I'm driving to work and in between stores tomorrow is I will probably stream Eyewitness News on my phone and listen to that while I'm driving. I won't watch it. I'll listen to it and see if there's any news that does come out in that regard, because I'm hoping not. I'm hoping it's nothing but great things, and maybe it's just people celebrating like they should be doing in New York City, and hopefully doing it safely and hopefully responsibly.
You know what's crazy?
Stay safe out there, all right?
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere near that. I'm in Long Island. I'm not going anywhere near that. There was a record amount of arrests after Game 4. I don't know if you saw this number.
Yeah, it was silly.
56.
56. Yeah. Look. I mean, there were some people that were being very stupid. Obviously, no excuse for it, but that also shouldn't be a thing for doesn't speak for everybody.
Right. Let's be clear about one thing too. just because you have a group of Knicks fans or a subsection of the Knicks fan base that acts like morons doesn't mean that determines what the whole fan base is. Heck, you and I have heard probably every bad word in the book about being a Yankee fan. Like, oh, Yankee fans are awful. They're mean. They're nasty. That's good. You're just going to put everybody on the same page. Like, just because you met a nasty Yankee fan, Knick fan, Dodger fan, that's probably the one that gets the most hate. I'm trying to think in the NBA. Laker fan, they probably get the most hate. Dallas Cowboys fan, Christie.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any issue with Cowboy fans. I mean, I have an issue with their owner, and I have an issue with the way they're covered. But yeah,
I'm just talking about from the standpoint of their fan bases. Like, that's where you feel like contentiousness.
Well, and I want to speak to one thing too, and this has just been on my mind, and this was something that did bother me. So before the game today, there was something that came out about how the Spurs were not allowing Knicks fans from like 150 mile radius.
Okay, so just to clarify that story, the Knicks, the organization, spoke to the Spurs ownership, and they said that we put a kibosh to that.
Well, yeah, and because the Spurs are one of the better run organizations in basketball. I mean, and for the longest time, they were the most consistent one in the league.
Whoever made that, I'll let you finish, but whoever made that call should be fired. Whoever made that call.
But I'm like, did they not see that the Sixers tried that and it did not work? Did they not see that the Cavs tried that and it did not work? And the Spurs, I mean, again, this is one of the most I respect the heck out of them because they're one of the more consistent teams for the longest period of time. And there's no way with that fan base that this should ever even come out at all. And it comes out like right before, people are bought their tickets to the game, bought flights. Like there were like no seats on flights between New York and San Antonio right before the entire weekend.
First of all, this whole back and forth game of, if you want to call it sportsmanship, when it comes to kicking the opposing fans out, it is probably the most childish thing I've ever heard of.
It's beyond childish. It is so dumb. And you know what? The Sixers, the Cavs, and the Spurs all deserved what happened to them just because of that.
I think eventually, first of all, we have no idea where the Spurs thing came from. What I can tell you is the Sixers one came directly from ownership. That one I know for a fact. The Cleveland one came directly from Dan Gilbert, the owner of the Cavs. I don't know where this one started from. I just read a report, multiple reports confirmed by big sources that said that the Spurs, whoever was in charge of the ticketing, that I didn't hear the word ownership. I didn't hear. They decided to go on Ticketmaster, and they basically, because I saw someone put the message out when they went to try and buy the ticket. It said what you said. You have to be 150 miles within the Frostbank Arena. Now,
so dumb.
What's even more disturbing, and why I hate this one and I hate all the other ones, in the message when it was put out, it says, we're checking credit card information to see where people are from to not sell the tickets. That feels like a little bit of a personal violation, a little bit, even though credit card information is public within reason. But when you give your credit card, your number is on it. They can check where you're from.
Yeah.
But do they really have to write that out in the warning message? Like, oh, we're checking credit cards, and if you're not within 150 miles, then we're not going to sell to you.
Yeah, it's just so dumb. And this is not the first time this has happened with a New York team in sports. I mean, I experienced it with the Rangers in hockey, with the Hurricanes up in Raleigh, North Carolina, which was a totally childish act too, especially considering that a lot of Ranger fans have moved south to North and South Carolina. But it's funny. It's only with Knicks fans. You notice this doesn't happen with anybody else. Like I didn't see the Hurricanes do it with the Golden Knights in the finals in hockey, and I didn't see it with any other fan bases in basketball in these playoffs.
By the way,
so
WFAN just posted a video about 6 minutes ago. There's a woman who climbed up onto a street pole, and she's standing on the yellow walkway box, like where it shows you that.
Yep, I'm looking at it right now.
I'm sorry, like you can be happy that you won a title. Don't be stupid.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say there was probably a little bit of alcohol involved in that.
Or as
First
they
of
said,
all, how did she even get up there? I don't think. Did she climb up there? Or did they do like a little like ladder brigade or something for her to get up there?
Well, you heard what Nick D said when he was on here a little while ago. That
There's another one too.
People were just climbing like it was nobody's business.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So there's another. So.
Oh my God! They crushed a police car.
Here's another one. I'm just seeing.
This is nuts.
Here we go. They already have a Knicks championship banner out in the streets right now.
Oh my God! Okay, I'm sharing so you can see this on screen. This is crazy what I'm about to show you. They crushed the windshield of a police car jumping onto it.
Okay, see now this is
getting out of control now.
Yeah. Well,
I'm gonna get this up so you can see this. All right. Look, Johnny, look on the screen here. I'm gonna play this so you can see it.
Take a look here. Yeah, those don't look like fans, I'll be honest with you. I don't see any Knicks jerseys, by the way. And I see one walking past there, but he wasn't really in the shot to begin with. I don't see any Knicks jerseys really in that group. So,
but it's part of a large contingency crowd going by. Like,
well,
over under the 56 arrests.
I hate to say over, but I mean they could be arrested for even for the smallest of things. So I'm going to say probably over, and hopefully they're just very, very minor for minor situation. But be safe out there tonight, folks, if you are out celebrating and stuff.
Oh, you know what? This was the guy from last night. Don't focus on nonsense, bro. There's no need to even show that other than this has nothing to do with negativity. Stop. I'm going to stop you right now. It has to do with we've had issues in the city when it comes to the fans behaving themselves after games. That's what this has to do with. It has nothing to do with negativity. It has to do with, now, James Dolan sparred part of the song. I'll say that right now. Bad people are going to do bad things, can't help it. Okay, that's fine. I agree. But remember what we were saying before about how there's a certain subsection of the Knicks fan base. It makes a certain subsection of the Knicks fan base look bad doing this stuff. Now, I don't know what's next for the Knicks. I guess is the question after the parade, after all the stuff calms down.
Well, it's a good question because I had to see about their free agency here. So here are the free agents. Their free agents coming up, and it's some of their key role players: Mitchell Robinson, who's the longest tenured player; Landry Shamet, who had some big moments in the playoffs; Jordan Clarkson, veteran, who we didn't see that much, but veteran guy; Jeremy Sochan, and then also Mohamed Diawara and Huck Porty is restricted free agents. And two-way player option free agents, Jose Alvarado, who, by the way, another guy too, the tremendous in the.
He wasn't as involved in this game, but he's been a part of this series.
Yeah, he was. And again, that's the thing. It was even like the little guys that had moments, and that's again how you have a championship team. I don't expect them to have to do much, because their key guys are already in place. So I don't really know what they're going to be able to do. I don't expect them to be like a major free agent spending, doing a big spending spree in this offseason. I think it's just pretty much, you keep focusing the team around the core guys like Brunson, Towns.
You know what's funny, by the way? Speaking of Brunson, there's a video resurfacing right now on NBA Today from 2023. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but it was Becky Hammond.
Oh, Becky Hammond. Yeah, that thing. I mean, I've been listening to Boomer and Gio, the morning show on FAN, for the last several weeks in this playoff run, and they were bringing up Becky Hammond's comments. But you have to understand, though, that was back in 2023. If she said that this year, I think her comments would look ridiculous.
I mean, I think back then like you said before, we had no idea what Jalen Brunson was going to be until now.
I don't think in my wildest dreams, when we got him, that he was going to be like this. I think we could have dreamt that he could be like this, but I don't think we ever thought he was going to be this good.
Now, what I will say is, because I listened back to those comments a few times, I do think she was a little overboard in her comments. Saying that he's too small to be a 1A guy, I think she kind of looks silly. But I don't know. I think she's now going to eat you know what now over those comments.
Oh yeah, she sounds wrong now, but it would be one thing if those comments were from a few months ago when she said that a few months ago, but when she said that right as they got him, that's one thing. And you know what? She was wrong. Let me tell you, Becky Hammond's one of the smartest people when it comes in basketball.
She's a winner too.
She's well trained under Greg Popovich, being an assistant there in San Antonio, and I really felt that there was a good chance she could have gone down, as she could have become like the first female head coach in the NBA. I don't know if that opportunity is going to ever come back again. I think she had her chance, but I mean,
well, a lot of people are saying, could she be in line someday to be the Spurs head coach?
Well, it was trending that direction. Now, I think the only other person in terms of a female that I think could become a head coach in the NBA, and I can only say this because her name's been thrown out there before, is Dawn Staley. But
I can give you another one, Stephanie White.
That's probably, yeah, and because she's done games before too.
She's done NBA commentary on ESPN.
So
she's an incredibly smart coach.
Yeah, and I think that, I know that's a topic for another day, but
yeah,
I think that it could be that. Look, Becky's comments were from 3-4 years ago.
Yeah,
so
I'll cut her some slack slightly that it was 3 years ago. I guess I just don't love the way those comments came out, so to speak, because that's really not her place to say, "Oh, you're too small." If he was too small to be in the NBA, he wouldn't be there.
Absolutely.
Hey, some of the greatest Hall of Famers of all time were not the tallest players.
Absolutely. Yeah. Heck, Muggsy Bogues made it in the NBA and had a pretty decent career.
What about Spud? Spud Webb. Nate Robinson, not Hall of Famer, but dunk contest winner.
Oh, hey, that was one of our few bright spots during our bad old days.
So I think we need to I understand what she meant, and a lot of people are going to grossly miscontext that now.
And if you want a Knicks connection, what we were just talking about, Christy also brings it up in the comments here about Dawn Staley. Makes sense to me be a head coach. If you remember, the Knicks considered Dawn Staley before they signed Mike Brown.
I don't know how true or how far down the pike those conversations went. Now, the only thing I would worry about with Dawn Staley, she wears her emotions on her sleeve a lot. I think she would have led the league in technical fouls in the NBA. And that's not being mean. I like coaches that are passionate and want their team to win. But that's not always a good fit either.
I think I think she probably was interviewed, but I don't know how far the process went after that.
I will tell you, though, I was surprised when they announced Mike Brown as the head coach of the Knicks. Great coach. I'm not taking anything away. Won a title. Well, he was part of Steve Kerr's run in Golden State. I think he actually won with Pop with the Spurs. I think he won a title.
He was an assistant back in '99.
And then he was there for one of the titles in Cleveland, right? If I'm not mistaken. Was it the second one, I think? Because that's right, because he came back to coach in Cleveland for a second time, which people forget. Great coach. Do I think he's an all-time coach? No, but that doesn't matter. He's won, 4 rings now, I'm counting?
I think so, yeah.
Because he was there for the full run, right, with Golden... Oh, no. So I think he won 3 rings with Golden State, 1 with Cleveland, I think it was 3 with Golden State, 1 with Cleveland, and now the Knicks. So it might be 5. I could be miscalculating that, but he definitely earned his rings. I'll say that much.
Yeah, and I remember how the reception and the feeling once they got Mike Brown wasn't the most positive.
Well, because of the whole thing that happened with him and LeBron and getting run out of town, and
there was a lot of mixed reaction to the Knicks firing Thibodeau after last season.
Actually, he got run out of town as the Lakers head coach at one point, didn't he?
I believe he did coach with the Lakers.
They basically
he was with the
fired
Lakers.
him.
He only lasted a year with the Lakers,
but I think that was like a 4-year deal or whatever. And he got fired like first year in. If I remember.
He only lasted 1 year back in 2011, 2012 before he went back to Cleveland in 2013. So he had 2 stints with the Cavs, and then
don't only the head coaching rings matter for regular? No, because assistant coaches are huge. If you have a veteran assistant coach, I think that matters, right? Or no?
Assistants are big, important.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. All right, go ahead. What were you saying?
No. I was just saying. So Brown had 2 stints in Cleveland, which you had mentioned.
Yeah.
And then
now I got to look
Warriors
this up.
And the Kings, and then back to the Knicks, and then here with the Knicks.
Oh, I was right. It's 5 rings. One with San Antonio, 3 with Golden State, and now the Knicks. Wow, that's impressive considering 5 rings.
Yeah.
And by the way, I
think coach of the year too.
I think he got screwed over in Golden State a little bit. Also, I mean, he took the Sacramento job, got them to the playoffs, if I remember correctly, which was tough task.
Yeah, in his first year in Sacramento back in 2022.
I knew he was not staying there for the long haul, though. He was too good of a coach to be in Sacramento for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It was an interesting choice. I don't even know who the other choices were that they were looking at.
I think Billy Donovan was another one they were considering. And
that would have been a terrible choice.
No, all the out. I mean, I'm trying to think who were the other ones.
See, now I got to look this up. Who was?
You know what though? It was in the beginning. I know it was a little challenging, but look what it's all worked out now. I mean, even in these playoffs when there was a lot, even in the playoffs when they were down 2 games to 1 to the Hawks, there were already people that were questioning. They were once again questioning the choice of Mike Brown, but here we are.
Oh, I found the list. So this is an interesting list.
Yeah, we can look back on it now since this actually has happened.
Taylor Jenkins was on that list. He got hired by Milwaukee.
Right? Yep.
Micah Nori from the Timberwolves, lead assistant.
The assistant, yep. I remember
and then a guy who I see constantly on these lists, James Borrego, is a name I see everywhere. Johnny Bryant, former Knicks associate head coach.
Yes.
And then the Knicks also reportedly reached out. This I remember. They reached out to try to get Jason Kidd. And
can you imagine?
that got thrown back in their face fast. And then he got fired.
Yeah. But can you imagine that?
And then they had also reached out to Ime Udoka. They reached out to the Rockets, and they basically said, no. Chris Finch of the Timberwolves. And then, this one, the last two are funny because, like, they're attached to the Knicks, but it was never going to happen. Jay Wright, who was never coming out of retirement.
Yeah.
And Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino was never going anywhere else.
No.
But looking at this team, I don't even know where to rank this team as an NBA Finals team, because I wouldn't say they were like the powerful offensive juggernaut of some teams, and I would say they're a more defensively minded team is the way I look at them. Except for like a Jalen Brunson and Cat, that duo worked out.
Well, if you want to, I don't know if you want to take it as a finals or take it as a whole, because as a whole, this was one of the more dominant runs. Actually, if you want to take it as a playoffs as a whole, it's one of the more dominant runs that we've seen in the NBA, in almost in NBA history. Because you have to remember, they had won 13 in a row. They're series clinching, blowing teams out by like halftime in some of these games. So it is a historic thing in that regard. A lot closer in the finals, but there will be a lot to remember this team by.
Now, can they keep it together? That's the question.
Well, the core guys are still going to be there, like your Brunson, your Towns, Bridges, who, by the way, now that trade, I know a lot of people are hesitant about it. For the most part, these playoffs, he was very, very good. But it's going to be some of your role players that you're going to have to really think about here. Mitchell Robinson, who's the longest tenured Knick, who I'm very, very happy for, got this title. The Alvarados of the world. And the Shamits, who had some moments as well. We had some Lansanity moments with him in these playoffs. So you're not talking about stars, but you're talking about pieces that were very valuable to this team. Now, if those guys go, then maybe you find some other ones to fit in that regard. But your key guys are still going to be there.
What I will say is, in Front Office Sports actually put out an interesting thing about the Jalen Brunson contract situation back in 2024. So when Brunson signed the 4-year contract extension, he intentionally left $113 million, which I do remember.
Yes.
When he did that, because he could have bankrupted the Knicks almost in a sense, cap wise.
And you don't get some of these other guys in, yeah.
And to me, that was very like Tom Brady-esque a little bit, where he's like, look, I made the money. I want to win another ring when he went to Tampa. And I think he took like very small money, but it allowed them to sign the guys they needed to sign, and he ended up winning another ring in Tampa Bay. Now, I know it took 2 years for that money to be recognized, but in the long run, it saved their cap, especially trades-wise.
Yes.
I'm trying to think where that money went that he didn't take. Roster-wise, like who they picked up.
Well, you had Cat, Bridges. Well, Bridges in the trade. OG, Hart. You were able to dish it out amongst a bunch of other guys. Mitchell Robinson was another one. Mitchell was on a decent sized contract too. What was it, like 4 years, $60 million or so for Mitchell?
Yeah, I think so. And the problem is, like, and this is no surprise.
And that was part of the thing. If you remember, the Knicks couldn't re-sign Hartenstein because of the bird rights. Yes.
So Mitchell Robinson had a 4-year, $60 million contract with the Knicks. That's a lot of money for him.
Yeah, and I don't know if he's going to get that kind of money elsewhere.
By the way, the whole contract is fully guaranteed, too. So they're stuck, whether they like it or not.
And what does he still have left though on it? Because
so he signed it in 20. Oh wait,
because he is a free agent.
yeah, he's a free agent. He's gonna have to take a pay cut if he's gonna want to come back to the
He
roster.
wants to come back. Will somebody else give him a lot of money though?
The problem is, and you know this already from him being around the roster, you're 4-on-5 when you're out there. Offensively, you're 4-on-5.
Offensively, you are.
Defensively, fine, but it's not. I'm trying to think of an example where that, like Ben Wallace back in the day with the Pistons. Now, he could rebound. He was able to play defense, but on the offensive side, he was like a nobody. Like, he touched the ball, he'd airball everything. I don't know. He's going to have to take a massive pay cut, especially if they want to add another piece or two to the roster. The other thing, and I think you'll appreciate this comment from me, is I don't want to hear any rumors or speculation now that they won the title. I don't want to hear anything about Giannis. I want zero.
You don't need Giannis.
No, but I'm saying I don't want to hear anything. You won the title. You have your core. If you want to go out and get like a veteran guy that could kind of fill the minutes so that the other guys can rest, there's plenty of those guys out there. Go get one or two of those guys. You can get them on minimum deals.
Yeah,
probably. But I think the Giannis rumors should be put to bed now that they won the title.
Well, where would Giannis fit on this roster, though?
Well, that's my point too. That, well,
first off, if you have to trade for him, I'm sure the Bucks are going to be asking for a couple of the players and draft picks. And if I'm the Knicks right now, I'm not giving up any of those guys. I'm not giving up an OG or a Josh Hart right now. Now, if they didn't win the finals, that's one thing.
Well, there would have been panic in New York if they didn't win the finals. At least that's how I would have seen it. But because if they didn't win the finals, you would have heard the Giannis rumors from the second the game had ended. Probably
the first thing we come on this post-game show in Game 7 if that was the case.
But you don't need Giannis. First of all, I would stay far away from Giannis right now because of all the injuries and everything that's going on with Giannis right now currently. If I was even if I would have said this, even if they had lost in 7 games, Giannis doesn't help you right now currently. He can't stay on the damn court.
He's been getting his injuries have been piling up the last couple of years,
And
then
the
you just don't know where his mindset, and you don't know what his mindset is.
And he's going to want to be paid.
There's reports of one day he wants to be out, and the next day he wants to stay. It's like I don't think he knows where he wants to be.
Well, no, I think he confirmed now he wants to be out because they're trying to get a trade partner. And then you're gonna have to pay the guy too. He's not gonna come cheap.
Yeah. Well, I think we've learned that the Knicks don't need him.
You don't
send him out west.
Oh, just like LeBron, right?
Well, I know, but I mean, it's seriously like a team that I think could almost make a play for him because of the amount of capital and stuff that they have could be OKC. But I don't think OC's going to mess around with that roster.
Yeah, but then you're kind of negating Chet a little bit.
Exactly. That too.
I think OKC's roster's fine. I just think, what was it, J-Dub getting hurt?
Injuries piled up in that series against the Spurs. They're fully healthy. I think they would have gotten out of that series.
Now, I would say there's a few fallacy of predetermined outcomes you could talk about here. If that OKC Spurs series doesn't go in excruciating 7 games, is the finals different? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think fatigue was a big thing with the Spurs coming down the stretch here.
That was a tough series.
Remember, the Knicks got easily disposed of the Cavs. So they had 2 long stints where they could rest, get healthy, and look forward to the finals while the Spurs were grinding it out, long games, close games against the Thunder.
I mean, to be honest, you could say OKC choked in that series against the Spurs.
But at the end of the day, though, you still got to take advantage of what's given to you. And yeah, like we even saw the Spurs had those moments too. But you know, the Knicks took advantage of it.
I just find it crazy the amount of times the double-digit leads in all the games that they couldn't hold it.
Nick, if you would have told me before the series started, Johnny, the Spurs are going to blow 5. They're going to have 5 in 5 games in the first 5 games of the finals that they're going to lead by at least 10 points in all 5 of them. I would say how are the Spurs not winning the series or not up 3 or not win 3 of them. The fact that they led in all 5 and won 1 is almost hard to fathom.
I think you're right. I mean, I can appreciate this post. Someone posted a video of Al Trotwig.
Oh, Al, yes.
Because of all the years that he was he did all the Knicks in 60 stuff, right? If I remember correctly.
Al would have probably been in the locker room, or he would have been hosting back at the studio, like what Bill Pito's doing right now in MSG.
They would always do like the halftime stuff locally.
Yeah, easily. Yeah,
man,
those are the old days, right? Our
back when media wasn't a pain in the butt.
No.
Oh wow. It looks like Wemby might have partially stormed off the press conference set a little bit, unless he was kidding. I don't know, because as he was walking off, he said, "See y'all never." I mean, even if he was kidding or not, I don't know. Do we feel bad for him? Like, do we not? Like, I don't know how to feel for Wemby.
I think it's mixed. You know, he's so young that
22. Yeah,
he should be able to get back there again. I think though the thing we learned about the series is though that he needs another couple of players, just like with the Knicks dealt with last year. The depth being an issue. Now the Spurs are a much younger team, so yes, youth I think did play a role in these games coming down the stretch too. But Wemby's going to be fine for a while. As long as you know he's been very healthy. I mean, you know, he had the issue with the blood clots early on, but he should be able to get back here again.
So Wemby was asked on if the Spurs believe they can come back and win the finals. Everybody knows we're going to do it. He's very confident. I'll give him that.
Well, he said that at the end of Game 4.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And that doesn't look good right now.
Well, you got to have some confidence as a player.
Sure.
Because if he went to the media and said, "Oh no, I think we're going to lose," that wouldn't look good either.
Well, but think about the mentality. Think of the Spurs' mentality in these finals when they were asked these kind of questions, and think about how the Knicks approached all these games. Like it was 0-0. Like, I mean, the Knicks' approach to every one of these games in the finals was incredible. Oh, it's 0-0. Somebody asked, "Oh, you're 1 win away from the finals. How does it feel?" I said, "We're not there yet. It's 0-0." And then you look at the Spurs, and they keep talking about how. Well, you just look at what they're saying. I mean, it was almost night and day.
Another thing to watch out for the Spurs, the De'Aaron Fox contract is monstrous.
So what's he's got? What does he have?
So for the 26, by the way, the next 4 years, the contract goes up every year. It's one of those.
Do.
So 26, 27, he's due $51 million. 27, 28, $55 million. 28, 29, $59 million. And in 29, 30, $63.3 million.
And when you enter that, that'll be around the time that Wemby's going to have to start getting paid. And there's both of your money on two players.
There's no way he's getting to that 63.3. No way. He's not worth that money at all.
Well, how do you move it?
They're going to have to trade it.
Well, you could trade it and take multiple contracts back.
It's an overpay.
And maybe try and fit that all in.
I think it was originally an overpay by Sacramento before the trade when they gave him the large contract. Mitch Johnson went to the podium and said that, quote, they didn't deserve to win the games. We weren't ready to win an NBA championship. The better team won. Okay.
Fair.
The guy's 39 years old. He's as old as a veteran player in the league. Crying out loud. I don't know. Like, what else is there to say, to be honest?
Congratulations, Knicks. Our long 53-year drought and suffering is over.
I got one. Where do you put the expectations for next year? Because Knicks fans are going to be wild and, all right, we won a title, so we got to go repeat now.
Look, we got our title. You have to realize that this Eastern Conference next year, and this is why we had making the finals was great. That's why the Knicks had to do it this year, because I think the road gets more challenging next year, because we've spoken about how the Celtics get Tatum back for a full year. The Pacers get Halliburton back and a bunch of their guys that were hurt last year. The Pistons are going to be starved, and the Cavs are still going to be really good. This Eastern Conference is going to be deeper next year than it was next year than it was this year. And look, the Knicks took advantage of that, and they have the roster that could do it, but it's very hard to repeat in this NBA. That's why we've gone 8-9 years without a repeat champion. So where do I set it? Obviously, playoffs.
You got to make the playoffs after you win a title.
And this team is talented enough. And the thing that also helped them this run too was not only taking advantage and dominating opponents, but for the most part, they were healthy in these playoffs. I mean, yeah, Anunoby had missed a couple of games with the hamstring. I know Mitchell Robinson had the finger issue in between rounds, and we had the freaky thing with Brunson in game one, but he came back. But the Knicks were a very, very healthy team. When you look at some of these other teams dealing with several key injuries to key players. So I'd love the Knicks to get through at least the second round again next year, and see where everything lays, because it'll all come down to matchups and timing. Look, the Knicks proved home court, as much as we think home court means something in the NBA, Knicks took advantage at home, took advantage on the road. I mean, the Knicks won. I mean, think about it. The Knicks won all three of these games, all three of their road games in the NBA Finals.
Well, see, that's the interesting part of this whole thing. When the Knicks won both games on the road, I said, oh boy. I said, what is going on here with the Spurs? And to not even split, I knew the series was in trouble once they lost both games at home. And then they win game 3, and I said, all right, we're kind of in that direction. Then game 4 happens, and close game. They choke it away again. And anyone who thought it was going to be a series after that.
I just didn't see how the Spurs were going to be able to rebound off their game 4. After that, I mean, especially for being a young team like they are and blowing that huge lead. I think the one saving grace they have, and maybe we saw it early on again tonight, was the extra day off. Like, let's say there's only the regular day off in between games. I think I think the Knicks take advantage of it quick, but the fact that you had an extra day may have been the best thing for this young Spurs team. And in the first quarter, I mean, once again, they were the better team. I mean,
Which is, and what's crazy. Go ahead.
I was going to say, no, the one thing that saved the Knicks was their 3-point shots in this game, because they couldn't hit anything from inside the line.
Those numbers were wild at the beginning inside the arc. What were they, like 2 for 18?
I think it was 2 of 18 or 2 of 19, even from the inside the arc. That's why, and I didn't put it out in the group chat, but I put it out on Twitter. The fact that the Spurs weren't up by 30 in the first half, I thought was very telling.
And that's what they said on the broadcast. Like, if you, again, using your what you said before, if I showed you the stats and you saw that the Knicks shot 2 of 18 from inside the arc to start the show, and the Spurs were only winning by 10, your answer would have been what?
How are we not down 30? How are we in this game? Scored 13 points in the first quarter, which is the fewest of any quarter in the postseason for them. And yet they go into the half and they're only down 5 at halftime.
The foul trouble, too.
Yeah, Cat getting in foul trouble again. OG being in foul trouble. I mean, Brunson saved them. This team as a whole saved them. And I think the Spurs' struggles at times also saved them.
Yeah. I mean, the Knicks were just on one this entire playoffs. It would have been, and I joke about this now, but can you imagine if the Atlanta series went a different way? I can joke about it now because they won the title.
Absolutely. But I mean, people wanted Brown fired after they were down 2-1, and look what they did. And look what they did from that moment on. Not only win, but the bulk of these games. I mean, just destroying them. I mean, I'm out at a gig in the clinching game against the Hawks, and I look at my phone real quick, and I look at the TV behind me, and I see 69-22, and I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" And then it was no joke, because then they would do it again. They would do it again and again and again, and you're seeing these final scores, and you're seeing these scores during the games, and it's just like, holy cow! I mean, this team's got a little something magic. It's got some magic going.
And the thing is, because we talked about the Knicks run on Lounge and all that stuff, all the different shows. And I said, well, the Knicks really haven't been battle tested. What's going to happen once they get to the Spurs? Because I think that was their toughest competition that they were going up against the entire playoffs. Let's just be real. They were never losing the Hawks series. They just kind of, I don't know, sputtered away at the beginning of it. But they eventually were going to come back and win that series. The series against Philadelphia, they were never losing that series. The Cleveland series, when Cleveland choked game 1, that like mentally destroyed them. It destroyed Cleveland, even though their head coach thought they won 3 games on paper somehow, which will probably go down as the dumbest comment in the history of the playoffs.
And I think I just heard him say on Twitter that the Spurs won this series analytically. So there's going to be an analytical championship for the Spurs too.
Wait, who said that?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh God!
I'm just following up what he said about.
God, if he said that,
that's why you got to play the games and stop basing everything on analytics, because it's killing sports.
This is another thing, and Front Office Sports always does interesting little numbers look at for every championship and all that stuff. So these are numbers on the Knicks. $207 million payroll. Most expensive finals tickets ever. The biggest stars on Celebrity Row, which people were getting annoyed. I don't know if you saw the controversy that ESPN got in hot water because after the OG shot, they showed Celebrity Row rather than showing the players on court.
Yeah.
Which was kind of dumb, if you ask me. Like, they should have kept that on the players. That was a huge shot. Everyone wants to see the celebration of hitting the shot. We don't need Celebrity Row at that point in time. Second most watched NBA Finals in history, according to Front Office Sports. And then, obviously, first NBA title in New York City in 53 years. I'm looking to see if there's a link to this story because I'm curious to see if they have the numbers because they claim it's the second most watched. Let's see. This is a whole story on how they were turned around. Oh yeah, you remember the Villanova Knicks
Villanova Knicks. Yep, that's another angle to all this.
until they traded what's his name or
DiVincenzo. Yep.
who ended up getting hurt in this year's playoffs. I thought that was going to hurt the Knicks originally.
I think it hurt them last year, and I think the fact because they didn't have a deep enough. They didn't have this deep of a bench last year, and Thibodeau wouldn't play a deep enough bench last year.
Okay, so I didn't realize this either. This says that Bridges also took $3 million less on his contract extension.
Yes.
So I guess you could say Brunson and Bridges and a couple of guys like really came together to help the Knicks
That's
payroll.
where also your money is tied up in too, is on that Bridges contract too. But you know what? A lot of people were hesitant about that trade with how he was playing during the season. You know what? He elevated his game in the playoffs, and that's ultimately, and that's that's how we get to tonight at moments like tonight.
Well, let's think about the OG trade too.
Oh, phenomenal trade.
That was the trade with Precious Achua and RJ Barrett.
Barrett, yep. I mean, now Barrett's done all right for the. He's done pretty well for.
Where is he with the Pelicans now?
No, he was with the
Raptors.
Obviously, with the Raptors, I think he's still there.
But look back at that trade now, and see who won that trade.
And people were hesitant about trading Barrett, but I think Barrett needed a change of scenery too. But I mean that. But you know what though? When you look at the Knicks of the last couple of years, that was one of the moments where this franchise as a whole started to turn things around a little bit. Because a lot of the talk, if you remember, they didn't get the number 1 overall pick that year. People were like, "Oh, now we're going to miss out on Zion." And you know what? No, I remember quite well. People were upset about that, and I have to tell you, the Knicks nailed that one perfectly.
Well, no one knew he was going to have all the drama and the weight issues.
Well,
and
the health is a big thing, though. I mean, Zion's missed. What was he? He missed like 50% of his games, and RJ Barrett was a decent Knick when he was there.
But then no one knew he was going to have all the off-court drama stuff too. But so I have the trade. So the Knicks received OG, Precious Achua, who I don't even think is on the team anymore.
He's not on the team anymore, no.
And Malachi Flynn, who I don't think is on the team anymore.
He's not there either, no.
And the Raptors received Emmanuel Quigley, who I think the Knicks actually liked for a period of time.
I liked him. That was the one guy I actually was bummed that they gave up in that deal.
So it was Quigley, RJ Barrett, and a 2024 second-round pick.
Which they didn't need.
I mean, I think, well, if OG's not on this team, where are they? Like
they're not in the finals.
That's why I think OG was more valuable in this series.
OG was huge, but you have to also remember too, Brunson's fourth quarter of game 1, his second half of game 4, and the game tonight. I mean, it's not a knock on OG that he didn't win the MVP, but I mean, Brunson. I mean, what he did tonight was incredible.
Yeah, I mean,
and his fourth quarter of game 1 was what helped the Knicks in a tremendous way. I mean, because Cat saved them for the first 3 quarters of game 1, and then he came alive in Brunson came alive in the fourth.
That's true.
So I don't think it's the fact that Brunson's the more well-known person. By the way, just looking at the numbers again, the Spurs 12 of 37 from 3.
Oh, I see it.
Range.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the Knicks did too, but I mean, again, with
holy crap, look at those fourth quarter numbers.
In games 4 and 5. 61-34. That's it.
And I think that has to do with a little bit of immaturity, a little bit. Like
I think immaturity, I think the fatigue, because again, and I didn't get a chance to, and this is something I would have brought up with you. We didn't talk about on the post-game show after game 4, and I couldn't talk to you about it on Thursday. But the decision, some of the decisions by Johnston in game 4 were head scratching. I mean, when you're up by 29 points with 8 minutes to go in the third quarter,
Why are you hacking?
Why are you shooting 3-pointers early on in the shot clock, not taking the shot clock down, not trying to get inside and get better range shots? And why are your key big players still out on the court up that much? My only reasoning for that, and it never came out in the postgame because he would never admit this, or maybe it wasn't what he's thinking, but it's the only thing you got to think about in my head, is I feel like they wanted to trounce the Knicks that night. I felt like they wanted to win that game by 50. Especially after losing the first 2 games the way they did. And I know winning game 3 and having the momentum, I think they wanted to destroy them.
I came across some stats from ESPN Insights. En route to the NBA Finals MVP, Jalen Brunson is the 4th player all time to score 45 points in a finals clinching win.
Yeah. Jordan did it in 98.
Giannis did it in 21 against the Suns, which they were trailing, if I'm not mistaken, 0-2 to start that series.
I believe that was right.
And Bob Petit versus the Celtics in 58. Another one, from Nova to Nueva York. Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, and Josh Hart are the first teammate trio to win both an NCAA title, 2016 Villanova, and an NBA title.
In the same city, too.
Right.
The 2016 Nova team did it in San Antonio.
Which is irony right there. Also, with his 39th point, when he got to that point of the game, Jalen Brunson broke Willis Reed's Knicks finals record of 38 points set back in 1970.
That's something.
And by the way, to back my point for the Spurs, here's another one, which I'm sure is going to shock some people. Dylan Harper is the 4th rookie in NBA history with 20 points in consecutive finals games.
So they've got their core players. I mean, their first-round picks are their core players.
He needs to be a starter.
Well, then you have to either trade Fox, or you got to maneuver this lineup around a little bit. Then
I'm saying flip-flop the two guys. Make De'Aaron Fox come off the bench.
It's not anything that you haven't been saying. And I thought if there was ever a time to do it, it would have been tonight.
You and I had talked about it at the end of last game. You need a spark to the lineup. Why didn't you put him in the lineup to start? Even if you were going to put De'Aaron Fox in for most of the game, I don't know.
The one thing though is the funny thing though is the starts of the games are not the issues for the Spurs. So maybe that's why they didn't want to mess around with that, and that was their strong suit.
I'm saying my point is he should have played a higher percentage of the game than De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox, I don't know if it's lackadaisical is the right word, or the fundamentals were not there. But when Harper was in the game, the offense ran smooth. It was efficient. He was finding his shots. He was being aggressive. He was drawing fouls. De'Aaron Fox was not doing any of that at all. Oh man, I'm getting annoyed because I'm seeing Stephen A. Smith all over my Twitter feed right now.
Yeah, he's coming on next with SVP on ESPN. But let the celebration begin, folks. This is not a dream. This is real life.
New York finally winning a title for the first time since NYCFC.
Yeah,
last year
for me, it's been. So for me, it would have been the Giants were the last ones, and the Yanks were in the World Series just 2 years ago. But we all know what happened there. So, hey, you know what though? This is the one I'm going to cherish the most of all of them so far. I'm just like I feel like I'm living a dream right now, but this is real life. I think later on today, probably when I get through work and I sit back and like take this all in, it'll be something.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Christy, you're right. The Liberty won a title in 20.
That counts. Yes, that does count.
Yeah, that counts. That was a good team too. Well, so what's the next sports on the docket? I mean, we still have the Stanley Cup.
Well, yeah, we got a crazy Stanley Cup that's still going on. Game 6 will be later on tonight.
Which the Hurricanes are in potential clinching scenario, right?
Hurricanes are 3-2. And I said the Hurricanes would win that in a short series. I've been proven wrong so far in that regard. I'm hoping for a Game 7 in that because there's nothing like a Stanley Cup final Game 7.
That series has been way more entertaining than this one. Double
yes
overtime
and
games.
No.
I'm just saying the games have been more competitive.
Well, we had a bunch of close games here, though. These weren't blowouts. The blowout was game 4, and it ended up being a very close game in the end, 1-point finish. A lot of swings. You have to. I think in another day or so, you have to go back and really digest this as a whole and really look at it.
I don't know. I feel like it's like you said before. Like some people say, "Oh, the NBA is on decline because it's not a good product sometimes," and I'm like, no.
Yeah, I think that's silly. I mean, last year, which was a 7-game series, I mean, was it between two franchises that were not really well known, perhaps? But
you're talking about Pacers OKC, right? So
correct.
That was a good series.
But it was a great series.
And it's not all about big markets, people. Like it just.
I mean, yeah. If that's the case, then why are we even having 30, 32 teams in these leagues then?
I mean, if because I know some people say, oh well, they only want the big markets in. Well, last year that proved everything. The Pacers are not a big market. OKC is definitely not a big market. They might have big market players, but they're not a big market. There was I want Lakers Knicks every year or Lakers Celtics every year. That would get boring after a while.
I don't know. I think if I look at this matchup, one of the most popular players in the league right now, Victor Wembanyama, against a franchise that's well known.
There was plenty of headlines in this series. I mean,
definitely, and I mean this is something you can spend show upon show talking about.
I mean, I'm sure it's going to be leading on Thursday. I'll tell you that much.
Yep. Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot coming up. I mean, we still got the World Cup. I mean, we still obviously have the 2 Stanley Cup. I mean, potentially 2 more Stanley Cup finals, unless the Hurricanes clinch it tomorrow night. World Cup's just starting, and
that goes all the way until July 19th. So,
and then once you get through that, 2 weeks after that, preseason football. So there really is no breather. I mean, maybe right after the World Cup, maybe you get a week break. I mean, you also have the trade deadline in baseball, which with how many teams are pretty much average right now in baseball could be kind of epic. But
yeah, I mean,
I think we're in for one heck of a year still to come.
I mean, I think more people are going to watch baseball because, again, with the potential of the lockout coming also. So who the hell knows what's going to happen to baseball? It's going to make Count and I more busy if we haven't had enough with lockouts.
I'll tell you, this year, I mean, between your emergency shows and everything, you're going to have quite the year wrap-up when you look at it from start to finish, from Super Bowl 60 to this to World Cup, football starting back up, and then who knows what else in between.
I mean, the amount of interviews we've done on Presser already, we have enough to do 2 best ofs. So,
oh, sure. Yeah.
I mean, when you get a chance, and I tell everybody here, go back and listen to the Chrissy Freud interview we did.
I will play it back when I'm driving tomorrow morning.
It's up individually, so.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I'll go check it out tomorrow while I'm driving to and from work.
Shockingly, she was not how I thought she was going to be. As well, say
that's your tease right there to check that out. But
wow, I wonder what Spike is feeling since I'm seeing Spike on the screen right now, and Clyde and. I'm surprised they haven't announced that Stephen A is going to do a bonus show later today or something.
Like First Take will do an emergency. Well, that would though show a lot of bias though if you're doing that. I expect that if the Cowboys win a Super Bowl, that ESPN would go nuts.
Yeah,
by the way,
but that
one final stat before we get out of here.
yeah.
The Knicks led for all of 23.6% of the time in these finals.
And if you showed me that stat, I would have said they had lost the series.
Totally. I would have told you it would have been 4-1 the other way, just like it was back in 1999.
I mean, I don't know if I would have said 4-1, but I would have at least said the Spurs won it. It just would have been a matter of when.
Well, my prediction was if this was a short series, and I think somebody, one of our guys, did say right after the conference finals that it would have been Knicks in 5. And I remember my response to that was, if it was a short series, I think the Spurs would have taken advantage of it. Would have won in 5. I think the Knicks would have won a longer series. But here we are, Knicks in 5.
I might have found the first chink in the armor of the Spurs. So Devin Hassel was talking to the media after the game, and he acknowledged that Dylan Harper was upset with his playing time.
Here we go. Now, is that, though, a reaction on the spot right after the finals, after the game's over?
But why are you speaking for Dylan Harper? Why isn't Dylan Harper speaking for himself?
Oh, that's somebody speaking for Harper.
It's Hassel or Vassell.
Well, that's kind of a problem.
I feel like he shouldn't be doing that, to be honest. That's not his place. If Dylan Harper's not happy, then first of all, it shouldn't come up at all publicly through the media. I think, like you said, this is a little, by the way, speaking of Precious Achua, he tweeted out an hour ago a picture of SpongeBob and Patrick running with their arms through the, there's like a victory.
Yeah.
Is he still playing or no? Oh, he's on the Kings.
He's on the Kings, yeah.
Man.
Well,
the NBA season is officially in the books.
Well, it's over, and then another week or two, don't we have the draft?
Oh, shoot.
Which is supposed to be a very loaded draft.
It is, but we could say, I guess, as Callan would do on Lounge, or as we use this sound on another show, the NBA Finals and the NBA season is over.
We could put a close on the season. What a remarkable run. This is something I will cherish for the rest of my life as a Knicks fan, as a sports fan.
Hey, you can see you saw one now.
Yes, I can say that and smile. This one will last a very, very, very long time.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, because you said something to me beforehand, before we went on the stream. I don't know if you remember what you said to me before we went on.
Not quite exactly, but go ahead.
You said it kind of triggered a little moment for you in another way?
Well, I mean, I guess now we can say today.
Because I know you felt it. Like you felt the moment of it a little bit.
I did, yeah. Well, today will be 9 years since my dad passed.
Oh.
So, and I was thinking of him already. And, he was a huge Rangers fan. So he always had the MSG connection too. And I got into sports actually in 94 because if you remember that year, the Knicks and the Rangers were both in the finals in the same year.
That was the rare year that they were both
in the same building. And so
that must have been madness having them both in the same.
Can you imagine that now? Yeah, I can't even imagine. I can't even think like what. I guess the only closest thing to that would be is if the Giants and the Jets were both in the AFC and NFC championship games, respectively.
That would be crazy. I can't even. Well, we don't have to worry about that. I mean,
how do you do that if they're both home, too, no less?
I guess you would have to do a early evening and late night, or you wouldn't be able to play them the same day.
that might be the rare spot where you might have a Saturday or a Saturday Sunday conference championship.
I don't think we'll have to worry about that anytime soon.
No, I don't think either of our teams are there yet. I think both of our teams will be better next season, but we're not there yet.
If we get like 4 or 5 wins, I'll be happy with the Jets.
I think you guys will get a few more than you actually do expect. I'm thinking more for us about a 7 or 8 win campaign next year, but I think we're going in the right direction. So, look, the last time I had a championship was the 2 Giants Super Bowls. So this is very, very special. But this one really is extra special to me because the Knicks were the first team I grew up rooting for. They're the one I root for the most. So the only reason why I don't sound like that is just because it's so early in the morning now, and I'm really getting tired. So
Zan said
they would split the conference title games if both New York teams made it. Yeah, and it's never happened before. So that would be something. One Saturday, one Sunday. Yeah.
Which we were saying. Like that's the only way they'd be able to do it.
That's the only way you can do it, especially if they're both home. That's the other thing too, Zan, so they're both home with that as well. And then just to close it out here, Jen says, Johnny, as Sam Rosen would say, this one will last a lifetime. This one will. No, this especially with what we've had to deal with.
That's another legend that just retired, right?
Yes, correct.
Wow.
But this one will definitely last a lifetime. I mean, I don't want to say 50 years or longer, but
let's just hope you don't go 50 years again without winning a title.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to get another one in the next 25. That would be nice.
By the way, they are tied for the second fewest playoff losses, 3, but the Boston Celtics. The Warriors, I think it was the 2016?
Yeah.
Or the 2016 run, they had 1 loss. 1 loss. Hey, 3 losses is nothing to sneeze at either.
Right. And then one more from Zan here. Congrats to your Knicks too, Johnny. It was a great run. Yeah, thank you, Zan. And listen now, Zan, I think now it's your – so I'm trying to think. Yeah, 2016 says. Okay.
Yeah.
Zan, so I'm trying to think now. Now it's your turn and Grant, Mike, and maybe even Nick to make for a Jets run too. How about that? How about Bears and Jets now being the next teams to make deep runs?
Oh no, the Bears are much more set up for success than the Jets will ever be.
We'll see. That's why we got to play the games. I mean, NFL is going to be a lot of fun come fall time, but I want to cherish this and enjoy the summer as well.
Let's put it this way.
We'll be there.
Let's put it this way. Like, people were pissed at Dolan mostly because they just were not winning a title. Of course, all the off the court stuff was not good, but now people are going to look at the team and say, "Oh, we won a title. We kind of have to back it off a little bit because he made the moves necessary for this team to win."
Well, and remember, he took a step back and let Leon Rose be the guy. And
greatest move of all time. Greatest move of all time, stepping back and letting, I guess, technically the de facto front offices run everything. So what? You had Leon Rose and Worldwide West or whatever his name is.
Yep. That's what ultimately did it.
Which people laughed at, by the way, when they heard those names originally running the franchise. And by the way, Leon Rose was a really good agent for a long time. And then all of a sudden we hear him get announced as the GM or the
president of basketball ops.
Or president of basketball operations. And I scratched my head literally when I heard that get announced. And I'm like, conflict of interest, maybe a little bit, going from being an agent to front office because you have connections to some of the players that you could be signing. But and Tom said it when he was on the phone, the whole Donnie Walsh and Scott Perry nonsense. Stay away from selfish or washed up players is why they fight.
That helps too.
I have to say that's fair.
Yeah, that definitely helps too. But you also had the right guys running it, and Dolan didn't have to comment on all these guys either.
Well, think about some of the players, because we said we would talk about this briefly after if they won the title. Think about the cavalcade of players that came in over the years, like the Eddie Currys of the world,
Currys,
Jerome James.
Oh, geez. And then also, how about the terrible seasons where they didn't have a first round pick, and then when they had picks,
they traded them away constantly, right?
Yeah, that's why when they built up all this capital for the longest time, it was awesome, and then they could use it to go out and get other players. Like they used a bunch of it to get Bridges, and then how about like the 17-win years, where we were just resorting to moral victories, like Linsanity, which lasted a very short time.
Anyone who thought that was going to last forever was a little.
I mean, it was an awesome thing, but it was just. But that's what we were. That's all we had.
That's fair.
And then you would watch Lynn get schooled by point guards, because at the time that Linsanity had happened, it was a huge point guard driven league at the time.
Yeah, the biggest names that come up are Jerome James and Eddie Curry.
I mean, that's where you start. I mean, you could spend a whole other hour here, and I don't really want to do that. I want to celebrate and enjoy tonight, but
no, we've been here for over 2 hours.
Yeah,
so, but it's the last game. They won. It's putting a bow on it all. Yeah, as I said, the season's over. I think it's going to be much stiffer competition going into next year. Yeah. Jason Tatum will be fully healthy heading into next year. Oh, I had people telling me that Brunson would peter out. Like, no, Brunson was always a better player.
There were a couple that did think that, but
that's
Brunson
ridiculous.
He was a proven guy already a bit down there. Like Jeremy Lin was he barely ever played before.
Lin kind of just
Brunson at least played and had some success with the Mavericks beforehand. But no, you're right though. Some people did say that too.
But I would say Lin almost makes me think of when you open the fortune cookie and you get the fortune that says, "Oh, you're gonna have a huge amount of luck next year." That's what Jeremy Lin. People would say it to me. Okay, but the whole insanity. People were calling it Linsanity era. It wasn't long enough to be an era.
I want to say it was only 17 games. It was. I remember it was a very short time.
But I would say the whole insanity thing was. It wasn't. What was it a little over a season, if that?
It was a fraction of a season.
Oh, it was a fraction of a season. That's right.
Because then you would see him going up against top point guards, and
he would get schooled.
Schooled totally. And that was at a time where, and that was happening at a time when the point guards were driving the league. You had several great guards. I think Nash was still in the league. Jason Kidd was still in the league.
It was back when all the legends were still in the game.
Well, that's when point. You know what it was? It was at a time when point guards were actually being point guards. When we still had position basketball.
Oh, you mean when we're not hoisting up 5,000 threes a game?
Well, there was only one team that was doing that instead of every team.
Two. The Celtics and the Warriors.
Well, it was. Oh, and then that's another guy too. We could talk about too, Mike D'Antoni, when they brought him in too. Coach.
Oh, you're talking about the whole get the ball up 8 seconds or less.
Yeah.
Which that drove me. That was the Suns were able to do it because of the way they were built, but when he tried to bring that to the Knicks, that was just. You want to talk about a coach that almost destroyed the franchise?
Oh, and then how about coaches like bringing in David Fizdale,
Herb Williams,
Herb Williams. Oh, geez, no, but I'm thinking about Jeff Hornacek, Derek Fisher, David
which, by
Fizdale.
the way, Derek Fisher had his own problems on and off the court.
Oh man, just
the amount of coaches that they were probably paying on the side. Well, who was the other guy? Oh, was it Rambis also? Didn't they?
There's so many that
I gotta look this up for a second. Knicks.
While you do that, just a couple of more comments here. Christy says here that Linsanity was happening the last time I was in New York, so it's been a long time then, Christy. Yeah, for sure. And Big Bot says he was amazing for a month or two, but he was decent for almost 2 years. Yeah, but on other teams though, not with the Knicks.
Who are we talking about here?
Insanity. Jeremy Lin.
Lin was with Houston. It was with Houston.
And didn't you have him too for a little bit?
No, I don't think so.
Wasn't Lin on the Nets? Or am I just, or is
it might
it
have been
almost near 2:00 in the morning and I'm supposed to be up in about 2 hours and I'm
I'll tell you in a
losing my
second.
mind.
Oh, he was. For 2 years, he was on the Nets.
That's what I thought. And I think he was decent with the Nets.
So he was on the Warriors from 2010 to 2011. Then he was on the Knicks from 2011 to 2012.
That's right. So he was with the Warriors first, and they gave up on him, and the Knicks took him because they didn't have anybody else on the freaking roster.
Then he signed that ridiculous contract with the Rockets, who overpaid him.
Yeah, because they thought that insanity would work in another city. It would be long term with them.
Then he had the Lakers for a year, the Hornets for a year, the Nets for 2, Atlanta for 1.
Hey, I'll tell you what, though, stayed in the league for a while.
And then he was on the Toronto championship team in 19.
Hey, you know what? He made a career out of it. He actually was in the league for a long time.
What does he think? He's Robert Horry?
Well,
what do they say? They say about Robert Horry, just right place, right time.
Yeah, but Robert Horry, though, was very clutch, too, in the playoffs.
True. But he was on the Olajuwon teams in Houston. Obviously, he was on the Shaq and Kobe Lakers. He was on the Duncan and Parker and Ginobili Spurs.
Absolutely, yeah.
He was around in the right era of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I have the coaches here. So I wish they would put them in order. That would help. But I see D'Antoni, Derek Fisher, David Fizdale, Jeff Hornacek. Wait, what? Is that Derek Fisher's kid on the Spurs? No. We're talking about Derek Fisher from the Lakers when he was on those teams. Let's see. Was there anybody else that stood out? Oh, right. I forgot. I don't know why I forgot this. Pat Riley for 3 years in the 90s.
Oh, but yeah, and then his thing was when he left.
Right. Oh, whose kid is on the? Oh, you're talking about Dylan Harper. That's Ron Harper's kid. Is who you're talking about. I think that's who you're talking about. And then Van Gundy, which people forget.
Consistent.
He deserves, in my opinion, another shot at being a head coach. I think he does.
You just wonder if he's running out of time.
He was an associate coach, though, somewhere, wasn't he? The Clippers?
But you wonder, though, has it been long enough? How much the game's changed since he's last coach?
I'll give you another one, which people forget. Mike Woodson.
But Mike Woodson, though, was the coach when they made. Wasn't he the coach though when they made the playoffs with Carmelo?
That was it was 2012 to 2014.
Yeah, so he was there when they had Melo and stuff. And Woodson was a good coach, but again,
they were overmatched. They were overmatched.
Well, that's going to go down though as a what if with that year, because if J.R. Smith doesn't get suspended, what happens with the Knicks in that series against the Celtics?
Oh, right. I forgot he got suspended. What was the reason he got suspended again?
I think there was a moment I think it was a moment in the game in one of the games that he had.
Looking that up quickly, and then we can go.
Yeah.
If I could
they never recovered from that because then Stoudemire couldn't stay healthy.
He was suspended. Oh, right. He had thrown the elbow on Jason Terry. That was what. That was back when there was much more physical play.
Yeah.
Was that the same year, or was that a different year that he drove the tank in the playoffs? Do you remember that?
No, I don't believe that was the same year.
Like he was driving a tank around the city. I was like, wait, what?
I don't think it was that year.
First of all, that's like a humble brag. Oh, I'm buying a tank and I'm just going to drive it. Oh, yeah, it was 2013.
Okay.
He was literally driving like a tank around New York City.
The days.
But you know what, though? I got to give him a lot of credit. He went back to school. He got a degree.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, he's awesome now. I mean, when he's on TV talking sport, talking basketball, I mean, he's awesome.
He was on the golf team.
For the most part, he was a good player.
Was that also the awkward moment with LeBron James in Cleveland? Also, where he had the
Well, he was with the Cavs, and that was the one where he took the ball up the court and thought that the game was over. What was it, that they won the game? Or no, that the game was over. That they had won the game. They had the lead, and instead of driving the ball to the rim, he got up to midcourt and just stopped. And then you had that little that meme with LeBron looking at him.
Oh, like
what are you doing? Yeah,
that was one of the funniest moments ever. But LeBron's like, "What the hell are you doing?" Like, well, that puts a bow. Obviously, the Knicks, 2026 NBA champions. You probably won't get tired of hearing that.
No, not for a little, not ever. How's that?
Yeah. Now it's on them to try to make a run and try to be the first repeat champion in 8 or 9 years.
Yeah, and some off-season stuff. We'll see what they do with some of their role players, like an Alvarado or Mitchell Robinson. We'll see what they can do. The big guys, the main guys though, are still going to be on this team. And then the Landry Shamits, of the world. So we'll see. But let's take this all in and enjoy. I'm going to get a little bit of rest and then celebrate some more afterwards tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you to the 300 and almost 315 people in watching with us.
Thank you everybody for your comments. For sure, it's just been fun. What a year!
I think we're gonna try and maybe we'll do this for the World Series. Maybe when they come up, but I know those are later. That's harder to kind of do, depending.
Well, that's difficult because you also, if it falls on a football night too, that's gonna be tough to do as well. But we'll see. I mean, we have stuff in the works. I mean, obviously, Callan's got the soccer show now, the World Cup show.
Yeah, Empty the Pitch is now kind of on like full board now with depending on when the Stanley Cup ends.
Yeah, and I guess now so Stanley Cup tomorrow night. See, we got a winner there.
Yeah. Also, now that it's Sunday, holy crap! This weekend went fast already. Don't miss all the coverage we have coming up later today. Zanzinger Part 2. Hour long, usually a half an hour, but hour long due to the Freedom 250, UFC Freedom 250 card, which is later tonight. ETB Lounge will be transitioning from a 3-hour show to a 2-hour show going forward. Just too long, too much yelling and screaming on that show.
Yeah.
I don't want first take. That's what I feel like it's turning into. But that'll be 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. And if the weather cooperates, like Tom said, hopefully a post show that's before 1 o'clock in the morning. What football teams you guys fans of? Go Jets.
See, there you go. There's an agreement for you and him.
Yeah, I'm a Jet fan too. Johnny's a Giant fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, and hopefully we'll get the post coverage in before Tom has to go to work on Monday morning.
Big Bod Zone, real quick. We'll be back football forecast in the fall. So come check us out on Fridays starting in September.
Yeah, we'll have you covered for that. We're doing pre-shows on Thursday. If you're looking for football content, we are going to have a lot of it.
There'll be 7-day weeks. We'll get into a lot more as it gets closer, but stay tuned. Yes, we'll see you there. Absolutely. Awesome. Sounds good.
But until then, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ETB Network. Quickly approaching 2,500 watch hours.
Nice.
The closer to that goal for 4,000 watch hours of monetization, which helps us grow and do a lot of other things that we want to accomplish. So please hit up our YouTube channel and subscribe, notification bell, you know the deal by now. So any last words, since this was kind of the last words of the NBA season?
It was a heck of a year. Had a great postseason run. Congratulations once again to the New York Knicks, to all my fellow Knicks fans. Let's go out and enjoy this one and take it all in, because this is not a dream. This is real life, and it's finally happened. The long suffering is finally over. So let's go have a good time and celebrate this one.
Yeah. So that's
I will
it.
have to work tomorrow, but I'll do that.
So that'll put a bow on the 2025-2026 NBA season. Zan and I will talk about it on Tuesday. You'll obviously talk about it on Thursday because it's kind of a bow. Put a recap on the season if Nick D's schedule works.
Yeah, have your notifications set on YouTube, and we'll let you know when that. I believe we're shooting for Thursday at noon. So stay tuned on that.
That'll do it. He's Johnny Montalbano. I'm Nick Morgasen. Have a good night, everybody. Again, the Knicks are the 2026 NBA champions. If you're a Knicks fan, go celebrate it. And don't climb any lamp shades or lamp poles, or don't stomp any police cars, please.
Celebrate responsibly. That's what I'll say.
Thank you. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.
We'll see you soon. Good night, everybody.